in case anyone needs to duck out, or certainly for those that maybe didn't make it, you'll be able to send the recording out afterwards. So we're here to talk about the future of AP automation. AP automation obviously being accounts payable automation, and it's very much what Lightyear delivers. I'm not going to sit and read slides to you folks. I'm sure you're all very capable of reading in your respective roles. But what I will say is maybe a little introduction to where Lightyear came from, to really sort of talk to its sort of pain solution delivery, how we built it. So years and years and years ago, in my youth, I was working in a hospitality group, and obviously with a lot of other people, and a lot of those people are here at Lightyear now. If you think of a group here in Sydney, it was about 12 venues at the time, and every time the owners, bless them, bought another venue, there was another 300-400 invoices to go missing in chefs' pockets and kitchen porters' bags and all that kind of stuff. And looking at the problem, we went, there's got to be some technology out there that can help this, get rid of the paper, missing documents, and there was, but they were all really expensive. But anyway, the seed was planted. Let's build something that we're going to make it available by subscription, so no upfront costs, free trial, that kind of thing. And we basically eradicate those sorts of pain points that we were experiencing. Some of those are captured on screen here. A lot of those might be ringing bells with those attending today's session or watching the recording. It could be one of these problems rings true, or it could be all of them. But either way, Lightyear will be able to help. So very quickly, and this isn't going to be just one massive slideshow. It's not death by PowerPoint, folks. I've been there myself. But how does it work? Well, Lightyear, basically, when you register a Lightyear account, to solve the accounts payable problem, you would register my company name at Lightyear.cloud. And that mailbox essentially becomes a mailbox for all things accounts payable. Once I'm satisfied, I've played with Lightyear during my trial. It does what Gary and Kendall showed me what it was going to do. And I'm convinced I'm going to tell all my suppliers as of 1st of May or some go live date. I tell all my suppliers, if you want to get paid, you're going to send it to this address, all right? And send it as an attachment. So what are we doing straight from the off? Well, we're not beginning with humans. Bills are going to start coming through electronically. We're not starting with a piece of paper. There's a little phrase at some events we did last year where we had bags we were handing out that said, if you start with paper, you end up with rubbish. That's rubbish data, rubbish processes, and obviously the rubbish waste. Now, sure, the suppliers are still going to give you a piece of paper with delivery. You're never going to stop that, but you're not beholden to it, basically. So bills are coming through electronically. Lightyear, being an AP automation solution, you teach Lightyear what to do with your bill from Shorty's Liquor or Coca-Cola or whatever it might be, right? And you tell it what to do once. And Lightyear is going to extract sort of key pieces of data from these attachments that come through. How we do it, it's a mixture of AI, OCR, and our own IP, to be honest. I won't be showing you how it works behind the scenes because I can't. And for all I know, some of you are our competitors and you'd love to find out how we do it. But really, we can boast real-time, line-by-line data extraction. It's 100% accurate, and it all happens in under a second. Might be 2 seconds, forgive us, if it's like a 10-page bill that comes through with a heap of Telstra phone numbers on it or something like that. But it's quick, it's accurate, and the detail is it can't be beaten. Even if your lines are split into things like product codes, descriptions, unit costs, quantities, certainly for stock heavy businesses, inventory businesses, Lightyear's going to get all of that out. And due to the accuracy and the detail of this extraction, that's where all the features of Lightyear come through. Now, I'm not going to show you them all today. We don't have time, but I am going to we're going to treat today as we'll plant the seed, give you a quick intro to what it is, and hopefully you guys will want to follow up with us. So bills are coming through to our mailbox in Lightyear. Lightyear is doing the extracting. It's also going to do all the coding on a line-by-line level. You don't have to extract the line items, by the way. We can just do summary data, same as other OCR solutions out there. But then Lightyear kicks in, and we're basically an approvals tool as well. So for those using, I won't name names, but extraction tools partnered with another subscription for an approvals process, Lightyear consolidates that. So this could be as simple as a bill comes through and Helen needs to approve it, and then off it goes into, call it Zero, one of the smaller solutions, right? It might be Helen needs to approve it, but then Kuba needs to check it, and then it exports to an ERP, like a NetSuite, Business Central, MyHub Advanced, that kind of stuff. It could be if it's over a certain value, Kendall needs to take it off. If it contains a certain word or a phrase, it says for attention of Gary, then send a task to Gary. There's all manner of ways that it can be configured. And I'm pretty confident we'll be able to solve for anything. We integrate with many more than those systems down the bottom there, but this could be a cloud integration like a Xero or a QuickBooks. It will dial in, push all the data and the attachments before you ask. We can send the attachments across the cloud integrations. Or it could be that Kendall's using some heritage age-old ERP system that they bought and set up 30 years ago and are not willing to move away from. We can still export data into like a CSV or a zip or a INV text file, whatever it needs to be, so that Kendall's team can remove all the data entry there too. Lightyear will file everything away for what I call 7+ years. So this is the extracted document date to the end of that financial year plus 7 years. So it's above the ATO requirement for those joining from Australia, but yeah, your local tax authority. That's where Lightyear began 5 years ago. That's what it did at the beginning. Suppliers are over here sending documents into Lightyear. You've got various systems waiting for the information, and Lightyear becomes sort of the playground, not just for the finance team, but approving managers, people in charge of stock, that kind of stuff. A little bit further down the line, though, the feedback was, wouldn't it be good if you did all of this approval stuff before orders were placed? And I think even at a post-COVID, heavy inflation, cost of living, everything's going up. This is probably more important than ever. So this was all part of AP automation too. For those that want to use it, Kendall can create a purchase order in Lightyear, same way that Kendall can in many other systems. But not many other systems actually have an approval workflow for that purchase order. Now that I've said it, it actually sounds quite silly, but that was the feedback we got. Maybe Gary needs to approve it. Maybe Helen's placing the orders through Lightyear, and maybe Sabankar is at the loading dock the following day receiving goods. If we're an inventory heavy business, that person can enter goods received notes into Lightyear or GRNs, and Lightyear is going to two-way match those documents against the PO that was raised in the GRN or GRNs. There's multiple deliveries, of course, that were entered. Now, at this point, partnering with the AP automation module, of course, that bill comes in, it's extracting all of the data, it's going to code your bills. That's GL chart of accounts coding, as well as any categories, job codes, cost centers, all of that sort of thing. Lightyear can also price check. So if Kendall and Gary have got agreed pricing with Helen's Widget Co., who we're buying from, Lightyear will flag any overcharges. Before anyone asks, yes, it flags duplicates. You'll see that today. But also, because of the detail of the line item extraction that Lightyear offers, we can export the extracted data into inventory systems, as well as your Xero or your ERP system, accounting platform, basically, if you need it. You don't need it, don't switch it on. You wouldn't know Lightyear did it. Again, those bills are going to be approved, but Lightyears are going to three-way match on a line item level the PO that was raised and approved and sent, Sabankar's goods received notes that were entered, and the Lightyear extracted bill that arrived in the first place. And it happens in real time. If everything matches up, bit of an edge case to be, if I'm honest, from experience, but Lightyear is going to move that to a completed tab. Anyone that's ever touched a PO or done any two-way or three-way matching before will know that more often than not, there will be some sort of discrepancy, but fear not. With all this efficiency, Lightyear also adds a significantly clean user experience to flag those edge cases or exception handling, basically. Again, we're going to export to a Xero or a MyHub or a NetSuite or a list goes on, but even after the fact, we store everything away in the online archive, but you can also, there's a pretty exceptional degree of reporting that can happen too. I might have time today to show you a bit of that. So enough of my slides. Let's show you what it's all about. This should take me to the Lightyear website. I'm sure anyone that's found their way on this webinar, you've maybe had a bit of a squiz and watched some videos anyway, but if you want to register an account, it takes 2 minutes. Click free trial. Everyone gets 30 days free. If you'd like to book a demo, like a one-on-one, our team are available 24/5. But as an existing user of Lightyear, I'm just going to log in here. All right. Now, clearly, you wouldn't want me jumping into one of your Lightyear accounts if you were using Lightyear. So I'm not, obviously, this is a sort of a demo account, as it were. And here is a bit of how it looks like. It's also really slow, but I am recording. That's probably why. All right, so you've got this collapsible ribbon, bit of navigation first. Depending on what features, permissions you've got, this is your navigation. There's this series of tabs across the top and then 3 panels. Now, we base this on just your classic inbox, basically. Documents are being sent by suppliers to my company name at Lightyear.cloud address up here. You can also redirect in if you need to, if you prefer. But Lightyear here is basically going, yeah, this is from Charlie's Angels. The extraction is down here. So here you'll see bill numbers, due dates, etc. And here's the line item details. So product codes, descriptions, quantities, and unit prices. Those first 4 columns are all extracted. Lightyear then uses that accurate data to calculate its own totals on the row and ultimately check what's taxed and what's not on a line item level and give us these totals up here, which are not extracted. These are being compared to the extracted footer detail here. Now, this account is connected to Xero. Anyone using Xero, you'll recognize these tax rates and GLs, I'm sure. But yeah, Lightyear is doing all this coding on the way in. And if I quickly show you here, actually, let me send a bill in. I'll cheat a bit now. Here, I'm going to send an invoice to that Lightyear account, the same way your supplier would. Send. Now, if you keep your eyes up here, if I hit refresh now, we should see (31st of March). That doesn't sound right. Oh, there it is. That's weird. My scheduled Charlie's Angels bill just came in at the perfect time. So yes, here's my stationary invoice. So there it is up there. You'll see the data extracted, coded down here. This is a tracking category from Xero. Anyone that's used Xero's demo company will recognize these. And of course, here's the preview of what the bill would look like in a PDF reader over there. So again, straight from supplier, no paper, no human interaction, no data entry or errors. So the first human interaction really should be this green approve button. This is a very simple interface. We did design this thing for chefs back in the day. No disrespect to any chefs that might be on the call. I'm friends with many. The point being here, though, is you don't recruit a chef for their software usability, shall we say, or their knowledge of a robust accounts payable process. But here, after it's been approved, I've got this account set up as 2 approvals, pretty typical business using Lightyear. Departmental managers play in approvals. This would be Helen in accounts, Kendall in finance, you know, that sort of role typically. Kendall will come in here, use the same green button. You'll see a trend here. Obviously checking things, signing them off. We're time stamping all of this. And we should see your approval time of your bills reduce drastically. And here, everything's queued up in a tab called signed off, where, okay, you probably want more than 9, but here I can select everything, say once a week or whatever your process is, and just export everything using the green button to Xero, MyOb, whatever it is you're using. Everything after export is then filed away in that online archive here. I'll just pause on this screen. Kendall, you're quiet. I'm assuming no one's asking questions. If you do have questions, please pipe in. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue. Right. I'm sure you've probably read all these fields. I'm not going to go through absolutely every little thing here, but typical use case. What did I spend last week on, let's say, cost of goods? Lightyear is going to revert back to that 3-panel view any second now. Excuse the slowness. It's because I'm sharing my screen, recording it to the cloud, and also I've got my camera on as well. This is taking way too long. There we go. Right. So here's all the results up the top of my search. Here's the total down the bottom. If I wanted to export my reports, guess what? I'm going to use the same green button that does everything. Training Lightyear to the team, even the most untech friendly manager in a department, they will be able to use this. I can promise you that. Lightyear returns results across the entire workflow. So this one's awaiting export. This one's awaiting approval, for example. If I don't remember getting a delivery on the 27th of March from Charlie's Angels, I can go into the activity here and see exactly who did what, where did it come from. It arrived at 6:35:41, and then 2 seconds later, it was in approvals. Again, no one's touched it. Here, if I only wanted to check, maybe I want to see all the line items or what was my spend last month by supplier, just overall. All of this is very, very simple and easily done. There's out the box reports here, including build your own custom reports. Again, I'm not going to read all of these to you, but yeah, if you or the team find yourself doing the same reports, looking at the same thing every Monday, every fortnight, every month end, save your report and save them a lot of time. Okay, that's the archive. Another big one is statements. Now, I'm going to guess that there's some decision makers on this session that are probably in an accounts payable finance team function. This is a big one. So suppliers are going to send everything to your mailbox. Your statements are obviously going to be a part of that. I'm talking supplier statements, not bank statements, not credit card statements. So here I've got a pretty classic example of a statement that's come through from this supplier. Lightyear is extracting this information accurately and quickly from the statement that was received. And because of the accuracy of the extraction, Lightyear can then go and match these for you. That's a duplicate flag there, by the way, folks. That's what that's saying. I've got 2 of those. These ones are being flagged as missing. If I am truly missing some documents, I can email the statement back to the supplier. That would be the supplier address there. This is the default that it's going to send to. And in 2 clicks, your team are going to be able to request copies because it's going to list the extracted bill number and the date of any documents that are being flagged as missing. Then, of course, Kendall over at Deflationary Stationery in accounts receivable is going to reissue copies of those invoices. They're going to arrive in this account, instant extraction, coded, no human entry. And this will all be match, 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 and month end's looking pretty good. If something was, of course, approved in error, we can handle that. We can send it back through the workflow the other way. And this is where I just want to touch finally on kind of the collaboration piece. So if this one was approved in error from March, we can send it back. And if I wanted to get a user's attention, it's going to show up in red because it's come the wrong way through the workflow. And in activity, you might have seen I've got this notes section here. Now I can go and tag my colleagues or somebody in accounts payable. I can say, I need a credit note for whatever it might be. I'm going to say, Kendall, you need to get a credit note for this. When I do that, Kendall's going to be notified up here. And basically, here's a bunch of people that have tagged me, including me tagging myself. Candice is saying I need to check this out in Lightyear Care Home and another one of our Lightyear accounts. If you're multi-entity, by the way, switching between them is a breeze, just like that. But also, I can collaborate even from one account with anyone from any of the other accounts. Okay. Now, not just notifying in the app here, you can also opt in to receive emails. So in which case that will arrive in the body of an email to Kendall, and this attachment will be attached. Now is probably a good time also for me to introduce the mobile app, which is about to get a pretty significant facelift. We just saw that on our product meeting this morning. Looks very cool. For now, I'm just going to play you this little animation. So Kendall can get notified through his phone, free app, free on iOS App Store and Google Play. He can click on the notification, see the document. He can swipe right to approve it, swipe left to dispute it, add notes, tag Gary, start a conversation. Basically, you don't have to use the mobile app. It's going to be a bit less optional. We're about to launch our expenses tool, a whole new module for staff reimbursements. Now, obviously, in that comes taking pictures of receipts, compiling a report on your phone, submitting it for approval through Lightyear so that staff member can be reimbursed through the accounting platform as a supplier. It's very exciting. It's looking very slick indeed. Hopefully we'll see that out maybe by the end of April. Don't quote me on that. Oh, I'm recording this. Okay, please don't quote me on that. If I've got something I need to dispute, or Kendall does rather, we can send this back to the supplier, say, hey, I need a credit note for this. It's going to move to this disputed section, which isn't very smart. These are just documents that are being disputed, and you can manage that whole process here. I'm going to spend the last 2-3 minutes on a quick run through of the purchase order section. Again, optional. All the features are optional. You don't have to use purchase orders with Lightyear. I'm just trying to cover a very high level bit of everything for you. So same layout. Here we've got different tabs up the top. Pretty self-explanatory there. These are various POs at different stages. So these are all my open POs. So same experience as the bill approval piece. Select the document here. The contents is down here. Preview over here. I've got one in drafts. I can have multiple delivery addresses. Delivery date. If I know that I need a specific user to approve this, I can select them here. Again, there's all sorts of rules you can set. I'm going to leave the category blank for now, save my changes. And then guess which button I'm going to press? I'm going to press, not caps lock, because you saw that, send for approval. Gary's boss would manage this section, change whatever he needs to, send it back. Again, the whole collaboration notes piece applies to any document in Lightyear. That whole user tagging and notes section should reduce the amount of emails flying around about payments and so on. When I'm ready, I'm going to order now. You don't have to send the order anywhere. This is an optional thing. This is all customizable. I can download a copy of the PO. I can, God forbid, print a copy of the PO. It's obviously what we're trying to get away from. I'll just close and don't send that. But here, once it's in the order tab, how long have I got? 4 minutes. I should finish up in about 1 minute, and then we can open the floor to questions, go through anything that you'd like me to go through in detail. It might be part of my process here for I want to enter goods received notes. So document number 456789 came with my delivery. My suppliers let me down. Thanks, Bidfood. I didn't say that. Here we've got orange truck, partial delivery, green truck, full delivery. We've entered one goods received note. Maybe second delivery comes in this afternoon on document 12345. Happy days. Everything else has been delivered. 2 deliveries fulfilling 1 purchase order. But strangely, we don't yet have a bill in Lightyear corresponding to it. Now, to wrap up here, I'm going to send another invoice into Lightyear. This is going to correspond to that reference number. Let me just check I've got the right one. Yep. So the Lightyear generated PO number is 0007. Supplier bills me for my goods. Again, I'm just using 0 because it's easy to do. And if I refresh my page now, if that bill has arrived in the approval section, like I demonstrated right at the top of the demo, if I jump into ordered now, once it all loads up, why am I partial matching? That shouldn't be the case. But here, okay, Lightyear's tried to match it with something. Here, if I want to dive in further, or if there's things missing or anything like that, all of my prices are wrong. Look at that. Well, there's exception handling for you. So here's the Lightyear populated data on the purchase order, the extracted data from the supplier bill. These green cells are saying, yep, all of this is good, but somebody needs to check these red cells. So ultimately the unit price that was extracted is more than the price we should be paying. And obviously the row amounts differ as well. Now I can go and accept those. I can have a look at the invoice here if I want to. It's going to pop up in a new window on the left. So I can compare the two. And yeah, ultimately manage my POs, ordering, accounts payable, all in one. Obviously unbiased, pretty impressive piece of software. Any questions, Mr. Kendall?
No direct questions, Gary, but we've already lined up a couple of follow-up calls for the next coming days.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that is.
Sounds good. Great. Oh, you booked a demo. I can see the chats now. Great. But yeah, buy subscription, 30-day free trial. If you want to have a play, just register. One of our team will reach out. It may well be myself or Kendall. Follow us on socials. I guess we're not technically a startup anymore. We're a scale up on paper, but there's some pretty exciting stuff soon to be announced. That's a slide that I wanted to use, but maybe as well, I will stick my email address in the chat as well. If anyone's got any cues that they maybe didn't want to speak to here. Thank you very much for your time. Am I on time? 12:30. Look at that. Even with a 2-minute delay up top.
Nicely
Enjoy
done.
the rest
Thanks,
of the week,
Gary.
everybody. Thanks very much.